Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs pregame show presented by DraftKings, America's top-rated sportsbook. Make sure you download the app. Use the promo code CHGO when you sign up. We're on the road. Well, the Cubs are on the road, I should say. Luke Stuckmeyer, Ryan Herrera, Cody Del Mendo, getting you ready for Cubs and Reds, the first road trip of the season. We'll have pregame for a bunch of games throughout the season. A lot of series openers for sure as we get you ready as the Cubs take on a new team. They lost 2 out of 3 against the Brewers. Next 30 minutes, we'll talk a little bit about that. And also looking ahead to tonight's game with Drew Smyly on the mound against the Cincinnati Reds. And, of course, a full hour-long post-game show as soon as the game is over. By the way, do we have the dope merch? I do want to show at some point in the pregame show the new dope merch that we have at allchgo.com. Sorry about that, Joey.
Yeah, speaking of which, Joey's
back with the Cubs now.
Back where he belongs.
And I just threw him a curveball. Let's see if he can hit a curveball.
Back where he belongs.
He's digging for it. He's digging for it. New merch. We have the CHGO Ivy, which is CHGO in the red bricks, the green ivy around it, the 312 down the middle. These were shirts that were launched for opening day. You can get them at allchgo.com in the locker right now. And the other one is beautiful and historic, and it's written just like that in white in the shape of the marquee. So 2 cool shirts. If you're not a diehard, go ahead and sign up to be a diehard, and you get to pick a free shirt with your membership. So that'd be an easy way to sign up and get one of those shirts. 2 out of 3. They win the opener against the Brewers. Were you disappointed? What'd you think of the first series, Cody? How'd you feel it out?
Listen, what I say on Thursday, don't let me fall in love with this team. The next 2 days, that's why I said don't let me fall in love with this team. We know. I can sit here and be optimistic all you want. I know people get mad when I'm too optimistic, so for this moment, I'll just say that, listening to Corey and Brennan this morning when I was at the gym, they were saying a lot of things. It's like, there's some things with this roster right now. I know a lot of people are already done with Hosmer. A lot of people are wondering why they're playing Madrigal 2 out of the 3 games at third base.
Gary wants Mash Mervis in the chat already.
People want Mervis called up after the weekend he had. Same with Morel. Listen, the only thing I can say is that the roster at this point isn't where it's going to be at by midseason.
No, definitely not.
And as far as the offense, I'm not going to use, at least the current offense right now, I'm not going to use losing to Brandon Woodruff and Eric Lauer as cause for, panic, because those guys are good. One of them a Cy Young candidate the last 5 years, however many years. Ryan, you know. But at the same time, it's got to be better. I mean, Dansby Swanson and Nico Horner were the only ones who were giving you any kind of offense all weekend outside of Wisdom and Hap too. There's about 4 guys there, right? Bellinger, it's not been great.
Didn't start great.
He hit a rocket right into a glove yesterday. He hit it, and I was like, yes, finally. And then of course it went into a glove. Is what it is. I feel like he's giving you good at bats. But there's been big moments for him to do something big for them, and it hasn't happened yet.
How are the vibes in the bleachers?
Good, especially yesterday. Oh, it was
beer
a beautiful
bat? You have
day.
a beer bat?
Oh, I have the one here.
Well, but did you have one at the ballpark?
No, I'm not giving Ricketts my $40. I have the one here, and that's all I need.
Okay,
but I don't know. I like the pitching. The pitching is great, and outside of Tyone, who I'm not worried. Not worried. He went 4 innings. He gave up 3 runs. He battled. Whatever. I expect better. We should expect better moving forward, considering how much he's getting paid. But you gotta love what you saw from Steele on Saturday. Obviously, Stroh was great on Thursday. I think the defense and the pitching has been there. Obviously, they need more offense. But I'm not using 3 games to define if the Cubs' offense is broke or means that the Cubs need to call up Mervis now. I gave the Cubs 1 month without calling up Mervis. I gave them 1 month, so I have to stick to it. That said, I would be very, 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 very happy and excited if they called him up tomorrow. So that's just where I'm at.
Saturday. I take the blame for Saturday because I tweeted out so far a lot of shoving, and Steele was great, and the ass man came in and got the job done, and then he didn't. So, you know what? It's the bullpen. It happens. And yes, I forget who said it in the chat. Niren said they botched it. They should have gone with Alzolay instead of Merriweather on Sunday.
And that's
maybe. I mean,
I get, some people were worried about the bullpen. Like they did this last year. I know last year's team wasn't as good, but the bullpen. I don't know if he's saying that,
but like he's saying. By the way, shout out to Niren. He showed up to the party for the
all I'm saying is that
opening day.
These first 2 weeks, and this is for every team around the league, they're trying to figure out those roles in the bullpen and guys that David Ross can trust. It was a bad outing for Merriweather yesterday. He's probably not going to be David Ross's first choice next time. But I'm whatever about this team right now. I like the pitching and defense. The offense has got to be better. There you go.
I don't like the second guessing bullpen. Well, for one, just second guessing them right now. Like this is gonna happen. It's like when you are putting together relatively brand new bullpens every year, the beginning of the season is gonna hurt because there are going to be times where even if it's not David Ross, whoever's managing is gonna have to. Just kind of throw guys in there that he doesn't know that well, that he's only seen pitch over spring training. So this whole, he should have gone to Alzolay instead of Merriweather. Merriweather had a great spring. He looked good. And it's the guy.
So did Assad.
Well, Assad too. And he had a great seventh inning. So even that part, it's like, why did he let Assad go out there for the eighth? It's like, he had an awesome seventh inning. Like, he's supposed to be this guy that's your one of your long relievers right now. And if you can't send him out there for a second, you have to know if you can or not. Same with Julian Merriweather. Like, this is a guy who looked pretty good in spring. He has some decent velocity, some good velocity, actually. Like, now you're trying to figure out, can you trust him in high leverage situations? And it didn't work out. Mm-hmm. And, it didn't work out. But it's the third game of the season. Mm-hmm. If he ends up being a low leverage guy, at least you know that now versus a month. If things like this, like the whole, I keep seeing it. David Ross doesn't know how to manage a bullpen. David Ross doesn't know how to manage a bullpen. The bullpen's been pretty good the last couple of years. Obviously, he does well when
and they didn't blow a 7-0 lead.
God. But it's like we're in the third game of the year, and he has guys that he's still trying to figure out what their best situation, what the best situation to put them in is going to be. If this is happening a month from now, then obviously then you maybe are growing a little bit more concerned about the usage of the bullpen. It is April 3rd right now. Mm-hmm. If someone comes in and has a bad inning, we should not be sitting here. David Ross shouldn't have put him in.
Well, don't tell him how to Cub now. That's
I'm going to tell you how not to Cub.
The only pushback I have on that though is that we know that this Cubs team has to get off to a decent start for them to actually be in this race. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like mid-season.
But the bullpen is going to lose games.
I think that's I think that's a different discussion in the sense that like when it's coming in a situation when it's the third, fourth, now it's going to be the fourth game of the year. Yeah. Say something like that happens again, it's like, come on, guys, like yes, I understand the want and the need for this team to get off to a better start, but when you don't have when you don't have a bullpen full of established guys, how is David Ross ever going to figure out if Julian Merriweather can pitch in high leverage situations for this team if he doesn't throw him out there in the sixth inning, whatever inning it was?
The only thing that I'm complaining about David Ross at this point is playing magical at second base 2 days in a row. Third base. Sorry. That's like again, and
he's not in the lineup tonight.
Right. Thank God.
I also don't, because yesterday was a lefty-heavy lineup, and that's what we talked about, like, would be more of a realistic situation to play him at third. The second day,
yesterday made sense. Saturday didn't make sense to me with Steele on the mound and him playing at third.
But you got to play him. What, are you going to play him once every 5 games at that point?
I don't know. All I'm saying, if you got Steele going, I don't want Magical at third.
Wisdom hit 2 homers. He's playing tonight. So that's how it works. By the way, speaking of the bullpen, Brandon Hughes, live batting practice on Sunday, scheduled to throw again on Wednesday. What did you say the date was? The 11th that Hendricks and Hughes, you think, might be available?
The 11th is when they're eligible to come off
right.
the IL, Hughes and Hendricks.
All right, let's take a look at tonight's lineup then, because we love to pick it apart, and we will again tonight. Nico leading off. Dansby Swanson. Here's one thing I would say about the opening series. Yes, they lost 2 out of 3. You had 2 really good pitching performances from your starters. Your starting staff held their own against the Brewers, who we all know they have the best starting staff in the division, period. Yeah. But you held your own in that regard against them in that. Sure, you lost 2 out of 3, but your starting pitchers were great, and okay. So don't feel terrible about that. Dansby Swanson, on the other hand, was about as good as anybody could get to start a season for a new team. 7 for 12. He was the entire offense. And don't expect that to hold up the rest of the season either necessarily, but off to a great start, and it was really cool to see. Ian Happ, of course, a lot of people picking him for who he got tonight, including someone to my left. Cody Bellinger, that's one I was going to get to. Do you want to panic over 0 for 11 and 4 strikeouts for Cody Bellinger, or you still believe? Bellinger and Hosmer, are you panicking now?
Hosmer's the only one that I'm like maybe panicking on. Bellinger, no. He deserves more leeway, especially with the at-bats that he's given them. I know he struck out, but like I said, he's had good at-bats that just haven't worked out. I think, in the 9th inning on Saturday, he was up there with a couple guys on, hits into a double play. Like, I just think he has to get that first hit, and then I can judge. But, yeah, I mean, if this continues, like if he continues with another bad series here, then maybe I'll start to get a little worried. But to me, he's not having bad at-bats. It's not like he's going up there and striking out on 3 pitches or, I think he's having decent at-bats. It's just the ball hasn't found the hole for him yet.
Aaron Judge will go 0 for 11 at some point this season.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to be
Hosmer's
Aaron Judge.
the only one that I'm like, woof.
I'm not even worried about Eric Hosmer right now. Why? Because he played pretty good, pretty impressive. Sorry, he played pretty impressive defense when he was out there at first base. I mean, that scoop he had was that Thursday. He looked fine on that side of the ball. I mean, we know Hosmer's not the hitter he once was, and you also, again, take into account that it's the 3rd game. It's 3 games into the season. You're playing in mostly cold conditions at Wrigley Field. Like, no one hit very well besides like 3 or 4 guys over the weekend. So, sure, talk about Hosmer's bat, but if you're already saying the Cubs made a mistake signing him, like,
no, I'm
not
saying
you, just like people that say it's like you're not really paying attention.
Yeah,
we get a super chat.
I agree with that.
$10 super chat from Ira Jameson. Why have Bellinger in the cleanup spot given his history since the MVP year and from the Brewers series? Why not have someone like Wisdom, who is a home run hitter?
Oh,
well,
you see.
Interesting, that none of us picked Wisdom, by the way, and who you got, which is probably a mistake because he's so streaky. I would guess that if Bellinger were to struggle for like 3 weeks, that you would see him start to slide down in the lineup a little bit. But let's wait. He could hit a home run tonight, and you'll totally change your mind about him.
So I said in the offseason that I think that Patrick Wisdom can benefit in the lineup with the players that are on the Cubs now because they're at least established major leaguers. I thought if you moved him down the lineup, somewhere around 6, 7, he could be a better player because I think he could be a very solid role player for a decent team because you won't put him in the middle of the lineup and make him feel that pressure of having to be the home run hitter or the guy who drives in all the runs.
The only power on the whole team.
Right. Which that's basically who he was last year. Yeah. Now this team has some guys who have done it before, all right? So why Wisdom isn't batting fourth? Because I think if there's anything that I feel really good about right now is him, just because they're playing him consistently in the same spot in the lineup. And in the series, he was pretty good. Like there's not a lot to complain about him in the series.
I also think there's something to the fact where
I think it's beneficial that he's consistently playing in the certain part of the lineup.
I think there's something to the point where if Wisdom, if all your guys are doing good, right? Mm-hmm. Wisdom's not going to be one of those guys you want to give the majority of the at-bats to. You got your top 3. You got Nico, Dansby, and Happ as your top 3, and that's good. If Bellinger starts to figure some things out, he's probably a guy that you would want to give more at-bats to because he's probably going to put more balls in play. We know Patrick Wisdom is going to strike out a lot, and that's just his game. He's going to give you a lot of power. He's going to strike out a lot, and I don't know that you want him to sacrifice the power that he actually brings that not a lot of guys in this roster bring to strike out a little bit less. That said, with a guy who strikes out that much, and again, for a team that's not built on offense, you probably want to get the guys you know are going to put the ball in play more often, more of the at-bats, because when you're not built on power, the more you can put balls in play, the more that, baseball happens and crazy things happen, balls get through, right? Wisdom's not a guy that's going to put the ball in play all the time. Where he's at right now is, you feel good about it. Wait, what are you mocking me for, Joey? Go back to the.
Joey,
I just
Joey's
like messing
back.
with you a little bit.
Go back to the Bulls show. Man.
I just love Ryan.
Joey's like, I haven't been doing this show for 5 months. It's time to get
Because I know that when you look over here, it's.
When I look over and I see you doing what I'm doing, yeah, okay.
Boy.
So I think if the Cubs are going well and the lineup's going well, Wisdom doesn't have to be a guy that you're giving all the at bats to, because at that point you have some more guys who you would expect are giving you power to.
I've compared Wisdom to being in the type of role that like Adam Duvall is, who had a big weekend for the Red Sox, by the way. But when you look at a guy like Adam Duvall, is he the best player on a team? No, he's never been the best player on a team, but he's got power and he can hit. And I feel like that's what Patrick Wisdom can be for the Cubs. So that, to me, that's why I like him anywhere between 5 and 7 in the lineup on a daily basis.
Craig wants Velasquez brought up, batting leadoff, slot everyone down one. Nico should be hitting with runners on base.
Yikes.
I'm just a little, I guess I shouldn't be. I'm a little surprised at maybe it's my perception, the perceived anger and outrage over 3 games in the baseball
Wait,
season. I'm not telling you how to Cub. I'm just saying they won the opener. They had a nice game the second game. It slipped away.
Luke,
and they were in the game yesterday too.
I'm not ready to call up everybody from the minors and get rid of this guy.
Luke,
I agree. It's literally game 4.
Yes. Well, Luke, the one thing I'm saying is
played game 4 yet.
The one thing I'm saying is, Luke, you are older than both Cody
right.
and
know.
Joey. You have been around the Cubs fan base long enough to understand that if they lost game 1,
but I forgot
they were going to be.
I'm old, so I also forgot that. But now I've been quickly reminded in the chat that jump off the ship real quickly around here.
But then they if they win today, everyone's back on board.
I just hope they're all watching instead of watching the NCAA tournament tonight. But in case that you're watching both, Cody, might you be gambling a little DraftKings action on that tonight?
Perhaps. That might be. Tonight I'm probably going to take UConn -7.5. One, because I want my friend Sean to win.
What is it, -7.5?
I think it's 7.5.
Kind of thinking.
My good friend Sean from CHGO White Sox, he has a future bet on UConn to win at like 9-1.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
So I'm rooting for UConn for him.
I think most people believe they're winning tonight.
Yeah. But you never know.
Boy, St. Mary's probably is just sitting there.
You mean San Diego State?
San Diego State is probably sitting there saying, wow, we're getting no respect. That's a dangerous team. They've played great this entire tournament, too.
Yeah. Give me UConn -7.5. Also, the hit parlay is 3-2 on the year. Ian Happ, Swanson, and Jonathan India +192. Same game parlay on DraftKings tonight.
By the way, St. Mary's is probably sitting there saying they're not getting any respect either.
The team that they beat.
The team that is already out.
St.
been
Mary's,
out for like
we're
2
not
weeks.
even in it. Carlos says, Luke, some of these guys shouldn't be on the team out of spring training. Now they're proving they don't need to be on the team.
Y'all,
everybody, let's hold on. Hold on.
Listen,
if Bellinger hits 2 home runs
P-Will
tonight,
supporter has declared that if they start 1-3, he will not watch until Morel is brought up.
Okay, dude. I don't care.
Well, we want you to watch, but everybody needs to
okay.
pump the brakes a little bit. Hold your horses. What were the Phillies last year at this point? I don't know. Ryan, go find a good stat that makes us feel better about the Phillies made the World
The year
Series.
that the Nationals won the World Series, I think in June, they were still pretty far under 500. It's okay. It's okay.
He will wants to see, I want to see Mervis, Morel, and Velasquez, not Masterboni.
Did P-Will supporter, is that Michael Collada?
No, he didn't.
No, P-Will supporter is actually the person that imitated me, then changed his name to Big Dave, and now is back to
that's
P-Will
right.
supporter.
Ball.
Go back to pretending to be Big
yes.
Dave.
So Mike Dubs also has a good.
Must be.
Mike Dubs has a good bet, plus 390 for Happ to hit a home run. Cincinnati.
Well, he doesn't leave Cincinnati.
Oh wow, that is good. If
Don't.
I can remember how to log back on after my big wins for the Super Bowl, I'm going to get after that. I got time because we got like 10 minutes to play with there. Ryan, also, as far as DraftKings go, you can actually get in on the UFC stuff that's happening too.
Yeah, UFC was at 287 this weekend.
Wow,
yeah, UFC
287.
Yeah, think about where they were 286 pay-per-views ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't even think about. I honestly didn't even realize that it was like, hey, it's our 287th pay-per-view. I thought it was just sort of a random three numbers.
Yeah. So this Saturday,
that's a lot of blood.
This Saturday, the action-packed UFC 287 fight card finishes with an epic rematch. Longtime rivals Alex Pereira and Israel Adesanya will face off again for the middleweight title. Throw down for your shot to win big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC. New customers can bet just $5 on a pre-fight money line and get $150 in bonus bets if their fighter wins. Plus, all customers can get closer to the octagon excitement with DraftKings same-game parlay. Combine multiple UFC 287 bets into one for a shot at an even bigger payout. I'm just going to go straight up. Israel Adesanya on DraftKings, I believe, is minus 135. The juice, it's not like juicy, but I do think he's going to win. So I would put my money on Israel Adesanya. Now, but you can bet on like, this is what it looks like.
The whole lineup.
I'm trying to find a juicy one where I could still bet on.
How about Adesanya?
Well, here's this. Over 4.5 rounds, picking the fight to go the distance, plus 100. Could go the distance. You never know. What did you have one, Joey?
I like Adesanya to finish it.
What are the odds on that one?
I don't know. I don't have it up.
Okay. Adesanya to finish. I'm sure that's a little bit of juice.
Can you wager on he finishes it with a punch, a kick?
No, you can wager it the way you want to get your
hold?
extra juice would be he's going to finish it in round 2 or 3.
Pick the round.
Yeah, or you can pick, to win by TKO, knockout, by submission. There's like
he's going to shatter his nose by the second round.
There you go. If that's on there,
What's left
Luke
of it?
is putting all his Super Bowl winnings.
That's what
on
I
that.
would go with.
So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code CHGO. New customers can bet just $5 on a pre-fight money line and get $150 in bonus bets if their fighter wins. This Saturday at DraftKings Sportsbook with the code CHGO, UFC 287. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Rolling with Adesanya. That's my pick right now.
Shout out to Mike Dubs. There's 159 more games, people.
Yeah, damn.
Hashtag Mike Dubs. Was there another super chat I just saw that come across?
Yeah, from
Fernando. Our guy Fernando, $1.99. Fernando's great.
I need help, guys. I need kind of stressed. Need vibes.
Vibes. That's what we do. Hashtag vibe with us. That's why we're trying to keep it positive going into Game 4 of the season.
Game 4, yeah. I remember my favorite part of the chat on Thursday was all the nice positive things everyone said about this team that is now seemingly completely flipped after 3 games.
Speaking of good vibes, Corey got a tweet I saw go across the Twitter sphere today of somebody in Ireland, maybe?
And
it was holding up a flag saying...
Let's see what it was. He sent us this earlier.
It's in Slack, Joseph.
So this is from...
It's all right. It's coming. It's coming.
It's from...
He's still worried about Alex Caruso's box score with it.
Chevelle PR on Twitter tagged Corey. So they're holding up a W flag and said, so Northern Ireland doesn't forget who won the 2016 World Series.
That's right. So
it's Cody's thing.
W flag going international again. Yeah. I love seeing those pictures float up around the internet. Somebody holding it up at some bizarre place, North Pole, Peru, wherever it might be, right? You see the W flag go international. It's even made its way to the CHGO set a few times. By the way, that's from Foco, the Clark the Cub bobblehead, and the Wes Nesky bobblehead was sick the other day. You want to do stock up, stock down?
Well, according to the chat, everyone's stock is down if your name's not Dansby Swanson.
Stock up, stock down is something really Cody started last year. Every single game after a game, we had one guy go stock up, one guy go stock down.
It was trade.
It was Twitter first. It was trade value is what it really was.
Trade values.
Yeah.
And it blew up on Twitter today when we sent the tweet. It had nothing to do with trade value, but it was just, who had a good weekend.
Okay, so by the way, here's the
W flag.
The W flag, yeah.
The W flag.
Which is awesome.
Okay, and then do we have the stock
Northern
up?
Ireland. So stock up, stock down. It's an overreaction. We understand that. It's a nightly or daily overreaction to what somebody has done. We don't actually believe that, well, some people in the chat do. I shouldn't put words in anybody's mouth, but opening weekend, stock up, Dansby Swanson, Marcus Stroman, Justin Steele. I agree with all those, Cody. Stock down, Hosmer, Bellinger, Mastrobuoni. The chat would definitely agree with you there, Cody.
And I didn't put in Madrigal just because I knew people would reply with Madrigal. That's called social media.
Oh, that's genius.
Like, that gif of the guy
trolling.
doing the thinking? I was thinking ahead on that one. That's how you reel them in.
You know what you did? You threw a little chum in the water.
Sure.
Yeah.
Jaws is coming after it now.
Yeah.
Little chum in the water.
To be honest with you, I didn't even read the replies because my mental health don't need that. Yeah. Sorry. So
keep your mentals right.
Yeah.
Jesse says Alex Pereira by KO, easy money.
Keep your chickens right as well.
Chicken, yeah. That's
all right. We're ready for who you got. Now, I don't know if Joey knows this, but the way it worked out was on opening day, Ryan and I had spectacular performances. He had Stroman, and I had Dansby. Two of the best performances in a decade. Ryan and I, we decided out of the goodness of our heart to open it up. Cody's guy was pretty good. He had Hap. Corey had who?
Mancini.
He got a hit.
He was upset that we didn't give him one, so I got messages afterwards. So
because I told him.
I said, vibes are at a high. We're only going to happy vibes on opening day. They won. Cody tried to start a feud there. Everybody got to win. We're 1-0. We're all 1-0. And this year we will go by win percentage instead of just total wins. But in order to be in the season competition, you have to vote in at least 50% of the games that we keep track of. So I'm assuming Joey's not going to hit that mark. Although you still want to take who? Do you still want?
Are you going to take John Gomes?
I'll wait. You guys go first, and then
Simmons?
I need to think a little bit.
In order to be in the season competition, you have to compete in 50%.
Well, don't we just give Joey the catcher of the day? Pretty
No,
much?
I would. Here's what I would like. I would like a holding selection on Mastrobuoni.
So that way you're in every game.
Every game.
He's all in on Mastrobuoni.
I'm in.
All right, well there it is.
I love that energy.
Well, he was Hayward last year.
Now
for
wait a
like 3
minute.
months
Now
and he was on.
wait a minute. If Mastrobuoni goes on an 8-for-8 tear, I will be shoving aside your Mastrobuoni pick.
No. That's
Mastrobuoni.
Fine. He's got to get to.
His stock is down right now, so it's a perfect time to get in on him.
If no one picks Mastrobuoni, he gets Mastrobuoni.
If somebody picks Mastrobuoni, I get
the catcher.
Now this might
fine,
be
sure. I get the catcher.
You get whoever's catching that day.
Joey is. You have not participated. The other rule change, Joey, is you can go for a 2-pointer, but it has to be approved by the panel beforehand. So, for instance, you could take Mastrobuoni tonight, who's not even in the lineup, and you could choose him. If he becomes the player of the game and wins who you got for us,
you get 2 points.
You would get 2 points. However, if you lose, you start off 0-2.
I will remain with 1 for Mastrobuoni.
Okay.
Even though he's not in the lineup.
Currently, yes.
You're still picking
Well,
Mastrobuoni.
I mean, there's a chance he comes off the bench, big spot.
That's right.
Probably less so now that with the DH, but
never know.
Pinch hit, grand slam, Mastrobuoni.
Right.
Okay,
never know.
Here's who we took. I went with Nico. I like the way Nico played. He got overshadowed a little bit by Dansby's great weekend. So I went with Nico because I thought maybe Dansby cooled off just a tad in yesterday's game. That was my philosophy with going with Nico. I forgot about Ryan's guy.
Yeah, I took Hap. It's in Cincinnati. Ian Happ maybe plays as good at Cincinnati as anywhere else in the country.
16 career homers.
Yeah, 16 career
in that
homers.
ballpark.
The Cubs should use that as a ploy for him to stay.
He has an 1140.
Where he went to school, went to college.
Or that could be the Reds, selling points like, hey, you play pretty well here, man. Anyway, 1140 OPS career at Great American Ballpark. I'm expecting Hap to have another good day there, so Hap is who you got picked.
I'm taking Swanson. However, I'm a little scared of Corey's pick here, going with Rios down at the bottom of the lineup. He's got the power.
Yeah.
So I could see him hitting one. Tonight based off who they're facing. But, I'll go with Swanson, stick with the hot hand. And he's going to get the play appearances, about as many as Nico is. So I'm Let me keep, again, riding the hot hand here. Also, I haven't got a chance to pick him yet. So
there you go.
I tried to on Saturday, but no one wanted to play. But I was trying to, get my pick in at 12:30 in the morning just in case Stuck was going to come in at like 8 a.m. and try and swoop him.
More like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Is this true? Everybody's saying Seiya's playing?
There's some Seiya stuff going on. I don't know, though. I don't see anything.
Hold on.
Let's dig it up.
Is he playing in Iowa?
Ryan, go ask Montemuro, would you?
Well, Seiya's not even eligible to come off the IL, so I don't know what everyone's talking about.
Well, that's what I was thinking. But, okay, anyways.
Maybe he's playing in.
I will say that I was the first one to make the pick tonight. I chose Nico. I threw it in our Slack channel. And then I almost went, I was like, I should not do this. I should take Wisdom. The guy hit 2 home runs. He's a streak hitter. Nobody took him.
Mm-hmm.
So Wisdom's out there. Joey didn't even take him. He took Masterboni. He's not even in the game.
Yeah. I feel like right now is a good time to get in on Bellinger, to be honest with you. So
Joel wants to take Martinez for the whole series. P. Will saying he played today. Is not what some of the chat
maybe
was saying. Played a minor league game today.
Probably played a minor league game.
All right. Everybody simmer down.
I don't even see that anywhere. Anyway.
Yeah, I have no
idea. All right, we got to get the Sox guys on.
All right, we got to get the Sox guys on. Their hot game's almost over. Is it over?
It's been over.
It's been over.
They're ready.
Okay.
They're ready. They're ready to come
Thanks for
out
checking
and
out
talk
the
about this.
CHGO Cubs pregame show presented by DraftKings, America's top-rated sportsbook. Make sure you download the app. Use the promo code CHGO when you sign up. We'll see you back here for postgame. Until then, fly the W.